is going on, YouTube? I am Germ here. So as you guys can see up on the screen today, we are going to be reacting to a little clip from one of Wippo's most recent live streams. Some people were kind of tweeting this clip out at me, bringing it to my attention, because there is actually some really interesting stuff in it. Now, previously, we had talked about the rumor going around that Bwipo was offered a contract extension from Fnatic and chose to not renew his contract, as well as Self-Made. And there was a lot of rumor and speculation and stuff there, but now, obviously, in this clip, Bwipo himself is actually confirming that two things. Yes, he was offered a contract extension by Fnatic, and two, that he is not going to be extending that contract with Fnatic at this time, at least. You know, this is also depending on what happens to Split. He could always re-sign with them again in the future, but for right now, he has no plans of renewing that contract. And as the title of this Reddit post says, you know, he says that he's not extending his contract with Fnatic. He doesn't think he performed very well, and he doesn't want to be on a team like Fnatic if he doesn't perform well. I have other options, maybe lined up for me, and maybe a different top laner can do a better job bringing these results to Fnatic. So that is some obviously spicy stuff. We're going to be watching this clip, reacting to it, giving my thoughts and opinions, hopefully getting your guys as well. And that's the plan for today's video. But before we get into that, I just want to mention real quick, if you guys have not already, please take a second, smash that like button. I would appreciate it so much. Really helps me out the YouTube algorithm. And don't forget to subscribe to stay up to date on all my latest content, so you guys don't miss out on anything we've got going on in the future. Tons of awesome videos coming your guys' way not too far from now, hopefully. You know, good stuff always. With that being said, let's get right into this. So this clip, it's not a YouTube clip. I mean, it's a Twitch clip. It's from his Twitch stream, but it's not like on the Twitch, it's not like embedded and it's on the Twitch page. It doesn't take you to twitch.tv. It doesn't pull up a YouTube video, nothing. It's just like a standard video player. I guess it's in the Reddit player. I don't know. So this kind of sucks, but let's hear what Wippo has to say. Give us some context to the quote in the title and everything, and just give us whole kind of thoughts on the situation.
Not extending Fnatic contract? No, I'm not. Reasons why? Well, I just didn't think I performed very well, and I don't want to be on a team like Fnatic if I don't perform well. This is how I feel.
So first off there, that's pretty interesting. Him saying that he doesn't want to be on a team like Fnatic if he's not performing very well. That's really interesting and could be taken a bunch of different ways. So I definitely want to give him a chance to elaborate on that and tell us exactly what he means. But I think it is really funny because there's a lot of Fnatic fans, LEC fans, just fans of League of Legends in general that have been calling for Fnatic to replace Wippo. There's a lot of people saying that if Wippo's playing like this, Fnatic shouldn't want him. Not that if he's playing like this, he shouldn't want Fnatic. You know, something right there doesn't make sense. That's not the typical situation that we hear going on. But again, with Wippo having not the best split in the world, people kind of calling for his head, asking for him to be replaced, asking for him to be benched, calling for a 6-man roster, you know, whatever you think is the right decision. To hear that Fnatic did indeed offer to extend his contract and Wippo's the one that turned it down, I think that would be pretty surprising to people.
You know, I love our fans and they're great, but it's not so nice to be a pro player and, you know, being feeling like a disappointment when you don't play very well. And I have other options maybe lined up for me, so maybe a different top laner can do a better job of bringing results to Fnatic.
So this is very interesting. Obviously, he says he loves the fans, but again, we've heard time and time again, you know, pro players, they see the tweets, they see the Reddit threads, they see all the messages, they get your DMs, they get the feedback from the casters and the analysts and all this stuff, and for some people it can be really taxing. Obviously, Bwipo is a very confident, charismatic guy, and it seems like a lot of that stuff wouldn't get to him, but maybe it is a little bit. You know, he says he loves the fans, but also fans of a team like Fnatic, when they're constantly so negative, constantly calling for people's heads, constantly roasting people when they are playing bad, when they are making mistakes, that can be really tough. And there has been a lot of speculation, and even Wippo himself addresses this, about him potentially going to NA and how there's one NA team that he has in mind that he would go to. Probably Team Liquid Cloud9 or TSM. And I was kind of thinking, that's kind of how people have talked about TSM in the past. You know, playing for TSM can be very stressful. It can be a lot of pressure because their fans are kind of crazy. Now, I think that has died down a little bit over the last couple of years, especially as TSM has been much less successful. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that crosses TSM off of his list. Maybe he thinks going to NA and getting paid triple the salary would make it worth kind of being under that microscope and stuff. Or maybe he's just a little bit upset with Fnatic fans. Maybe he's a little upset with the Fnatic organization. And I love how he says maybe a different top laner can come in and give Fnatic better results. maybe he honestly means that, or maybe it's kind of like a tongue-in-cheek, like, oh yeah, we'll give you guys another top laner, then we'll see what happens. Maybe you guys will be wanting me back then. I don't know. Could be a little shade getting thrown. Could be a little slight there, or it could just be nothing. You know, maybe I'm looking too far into it. But you know, I could really see that either way. It's tough to read Wippo and understand exactly what he's even trying to say here. But yeah, some interesting stuff.
I really don't mind stepping aside for that. Will I extend if I smash summer? It highly depends. There's more to it than just that, right? Please don't tell us you go to an A.
So, before we get into the NA talk, I did think that was really, really interesting, too, because that is what a lot of people are saying. They're like, yeah, if Wippo, you know, struggles again, obviously he'll probably leave or he'll want to get kicked or whatever, but if he smashes, is he just the long-term Fnatic top laner then? Because even if they bring in, like, Adam or SLT or whoever, if Wippo pops off, he's just the Fnatic top laner still, right? He keeps his job, and he's saying, no, it's not that simple. So that really makes me think there is something more going on here. Is it a problem between Wippo and the organization? Is it Wippo and the coaching staff? Is it Wippo and the fans? Is it Wippo and just wanting to move on from Fnatic and go to a different spot, whether it's NA, whether it's casting or whatever, analysis of the game, streaming, content creation? You know, I don't know exactly for sure, but it definitely seems like there's something going on here, and it is pretty strange. And again, a lot of people keep talking about, like, oh yeah, he should just go to casting or whatever. And yeah, I agree. He's going to be an amazing caster. He's going to make a ton of money, and he's going to be very, very talented at it. But when you have offers out there to still be a pro player for a couple more years, or go to NA and be a pro player for a couple more years and make a ton of money, and then casting is still gonna be there. He's still gonna be a huge name, still gonna be very charismatic, still gonna have the energy, still gonna have a big personality, still gonna have a ton of game knowledge. I think it would really be tough to pass up either the NA paycheck, some more paychecks in EU. You know, it would be really, really difficult. But again, with Fnatic, maybe not offering the biggest amount of money, maybe not having the most success, maybe having some hypercritical fans, I could see why Bwipo would maybe want to be on the move and maybe be moving on from Fnatic. It does seem more and more likely that even if Fnatic wants him back, that Bwipo won't be going. Because like you said, even if he pops off in summer, that's still no guarantees coming back to Fnatic, which is a little bit interesting to hear.
Again, the reason why I didn't decide to extend the contract is because I want to keep my cards open. What exactly that means or what it will mean for the future is, I don't know. Actually, I have no idea. Big gamble, but it's never wrong to bet on yourself. I mean, you say that, but if, like, the thing about a team, like, the thing about being on a team like Fnatic is even if I extend my contract and I perform poorly, there's a chance I get replaced. So, to say it's a big gamble is a little bit of an underrated, I mean, not underrated, it's a little bit of an off take, you know?
So honestly, that is something that I have not really heard many other pro players talk about previously. Maybe they have, maybe I've missed it, maybe it's something they don't address, maybe it's something that some people don't think about, but that is honestly very, very interesting. And that's probably one reason why he says even if he pops off in the summer split, that he still maybe wouldn't necessarily re-sign, because like he's saying, even if you re-sign, you sign a 2-year deal, you sign a 3-year deal, we've been seeing for some of these people, and then you have one bad split, sometimes 2 bad splits, but sometimes just 1 bad split, or sometimes just the next, big thing comes along, you still get replaced. You still lose your job. You still get kicked from the team. You know, those contracts are not the longevity and the kind of safety nets that everyone necessarily thinks there are. Yes, you're still going to get a buyout. Yes, you're still going to get whatever amount of money that you're entitled to or whatever's going on, and that's great, but you're still not guaranteed, you know, to have a spot on a team or to have a roster spot or to have a future or a career, because, yeah, they can sign you, but that does not mean they're committed to you for that amount of time. We've seen that time and time again with players on many different teams in many different regions, so that is pretty interesting to hear Bwipo talking about that a little bit. Yeah, like, it's not really betting on himself, because the contract does not equal a starting spot. It does not equal a roster position necessarily. So in a lot of ways, like, yeah, what does that extension even mean to him? Just really, really interesting.
I support Fnatic because of you. Why, thank you. I appreciate it. But the point being is, like, I don't mind either way, you know? I'm here to play good League of Legends, and if I can't do that, then, you know, if I don't feel like I'm capable of doing that, then I'm not going to play professionally. That's how I feel.
So I think that's really crazy too. Obviously, I think it's interesting that he says, he's just at a spot where he's fine with whatever happens. I think that's awesome. I think that gives him an awesome bargaining chip that he's going to end up in a good situation, making a good amount of money that he's happy about and excited about for the future, or he has other options lined up. He doesn't need any organization. He doesn't need any team. He doesn't need any position if he truly means that. Even if he doesn't truly mean that, as long as he's able to say that and even convince some people that that is true, then he's going to have a lot of leverage. He's going to have an insane bargaining tool. And then obviously here again, he says he wants to play high-level League of Legends. If he's not able to, he's not going to play professionally. Talking a little bit about maybe hinting at a potential retirement in the very near future, because that's kind of insane. You know, this guy just came up on Fnatic just a couple of years ago, and now to already be talking about retirement, to already be talking about maybe being done with professional League of Legends, that would be kind of crazy. That would be pretty shocking and pretty surprising to me and a lot of other people, especially when we've seen this guy be at the top of his game, the peak of his game, in the not that distant, you know, past, pretty recently. And yeah, one bad split does start to be, you know, a little kind of hard to watch. It's going to get people flaming and everything. But, I mean, yeah, he is talking pretty openly about at least retirement being an option, giving up, hanging it up, being an option. And that's pretty crazy, and that's pretty surprising to me. Yeah, I don't know.
So I'd like to use this week or use this split as a like a test for myself, you know. How can I perform under pressure?
So yeah, like he said, obviously he's going to use the split as a test to see how he performs, see what he can do. The pressure's definitely on, but again, not really. I mean, if he didn't have other options, if NA wasn't going to be there, if casting wasn't going to be there, if coaching wasn't going to be there, if content creation wasn't going to be there, there would be way more pressure. Yes, if he wants to be a Fnatic player, if he wants to be a professional player, if he wants to do this thing, then yes, there's a ton of pressure on him this next split, because he's not going to be able to keep being a high-level top laner if he keeps having performances like he did this past season. But, again, he does have other options, so the pressure's not really there, but it will be interesting to see how motivated he is, how he comes into the split, and then how he does. Does he pop off? Does he do the same? Does he do worse than last split? I don't know. And then, headed into the offseason, when he has all these options on the table, it's going to be really crazy and exciting to see what exactly he does, because if he plays well, he's going to have a ton of options. If he doesn't play well, he's going to have fewer options, but it should still be multiple options. And Bwipo's going to have a big decision to make, and it's going to be a big story. This is a big name, a big player, very popular, well-known. And it sounds like he's going to be on the move soon, and I'm definitely looking out for that and super interested in following this story headed into the near future. But that is pretty much it for this video today, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching. I would definitely appreciate if you did drop a like on this video. Leave a comment down below. What do you think Wippo should do? What do you think Wippo is going to do? I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. Subscribe to stay up to date on my latest content. Hopefully catch you guys in the next one. But until then, peace!